today's video, guess what? I finally got to go see Detective Pikachu. This is a movie that I was actually pretty much dying to see. I really wanted to see it. Unfortunately, my viewing of it kept being postponed by a lot. I mean, think about it. I turned 22, my uncle's been coming around a lot more. I just redid my fish tank and it looks absolutely insane. Click subscribe if you want to see my fish videos. And my little sister graduated. I have a cousin that went into the Air Force. And it's all just been super hectic and a whole lot of fun for me this month. I have had a blast. To the point where I couldn't see this movie till June 1st. This is June 1st when I'm recording this. I just saw the movie today. It's been a couple hours. I've been able to collect my thoughts about the movie, and I'm going to be doing this spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, considering I'm probably one of the last person who wants to see this movie, to go see this movie, I think a lot of you guys are going to be safe. But still, if you haven't seen this movie yet, don't watch this video because I'm going to be spoiling it. So let's go ahead and talk about my thoughts on Detective Pikachu. Let's go a little bit further. What about Pokemon itself? My channel's not about Pokemon. What was my relationship to Pokemon? The fact is, when I was really little, I'm not gonna say I was the biggest fan of Pokemon ever, but I was at least a decent fan. I mean, when I was little, I used to have a DS game, and I would have, like, Mario, and then my best friend would have, like, Pokemon, and we would switch games for a day or sometimes a week or something like that. So I actually played a couple different types of Pokemon games. I don't even know what generations I played. It was so long ago. I believe I played Generation 2, maybe 4 and 5. I've only played so many generations because I had that DS for only so long before my DS broke. But hey, it's when I was a little kid. Now, the card game, my cousin Nick and my cousin Cody actually used to collect the card game, especially my cousin Nick. The fact is, I had a lot of friends who collected the card game, but I wasn't really interested in cards, you know? I wasn't really interested in card games. But my favorite thing was definitely the anime, and it's so funny because years ago, and I know this sounds crazy, but Yu-Gi-Oh! and Pokemon were kind of the two first animes I've ever watched. The one I really give credit to is Naruto. I didn't get into Naruto till I was 13 years old, but I knew Naruto was an anime when I first watched it. When it came to Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, when I was little, I thought they were just great kid shows. I had no idea until I was 15 years old. You gotta think, I got into these two shows when I was 5. For 10 years, I did not know Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! For that matter, were Japanese. I had no idea that they came from Japan. I had no idea. Isn't that crazy? For 10 years, I had no idea that they were Japan, and yet I am a huge fan of animes. And I loved the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, and of course I loved the original Pokemon anime. In fact, I loved Pokemon a lot more. I don't know which one I saw first, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon. I don't know which one I saw first at all. But I really did enjoy the Pokemon anime. I loved Misty, Brock, and of course Ash, and then you had the next version which had May in it, and I'm actually a big fan of May. I really did enjoy May. Diamond and Pearl was the end of my Pokemon life because I absolutely could not stand the character Dawn. She was too plain. And that was the end of my pretty much Pokemon life. I've watched most of the Pokemon movies and definitely seen at least the original anime and actually quite a few bits of the anime for me to at least call myself a Pokemon fan. Now, when I first heard that they were going to be doing Pokemon live action, I kind of brushed it off as, you're doing that. Alright. I never really thought that I would want to go see that. I do actually play the games, Pokemon Go, as well as a couple other Pokemon games on my phone, but I've just never really gotten that much into Pokemon. It's my relationship with Pokemon swirled up right there. I'm into Pokemon, I love Pokemon, but I'm not in it that deep. So, but anyway, Pokemon Detective Pikachu. It's apparently based off a game called Detective Pikachu, and apparently the story is actually very close to what the story is in the movie. And I've never played Detective Pikachu, obviously, but I really did enjoy this movie. When I saw the trailers, I was like, okay, I have to see this now, because I actually really did like the trailers. I thought the trailers were brilliant. And then I went to go see this movie with my cousin Nick and our friend Daniel, and my god, I actually was amazed with how good of a story they came up with this. Now, apparently the story is kind of based off the video game, you know, it's very similar to what the video game did, but there were some things that I saw just like that. I saw it coming from a mile away, and there were actually a couple of really good surprises. There were some really funny scenes, and a couple of really emotional scenes, actually, and it just all wrapped up to be a good, basic movie. That's right, I'm going to say this was a basic movie. You gotta realize, I'm really into, like, big, gigantic stories, and I am an adult, I know. Being an adult, I kinda can't view this movie as an adult, because if I do that, then I'm never going to say that this movie was greater than basic. Which for me, it really was. It really was just a basic story. So, what is the story? So, a kid named Dan, who is a son of a detective, a Pokemon detective, he's kind of over Pokemon, you know. He used to be a big fan of them when he was a kid, but he's kind of over it. He's about 21 years old, and he then finds out that his dad, unfortunately, died in a car crash. A car crash, by the way, which had a lot of foul play involved in it. He goes to, you know, deal with his dad's death when he finds his dad's old partner Pokemon, which is, of course, Detective Pikachu. Now, Pikachu, for some reason, can talk. He can understand them, and it's like, why? And you know, he's trying to figure out why other people can't understand this Pokemon, and why he's the only one who can, and why can he only understand one Pokemon. I thought it was going to be like he could understand all of the Pokemon. Turns out I was wrong. It turns out he can only understand this one Pikachu, which is actually really interesting. And I really liked the way they took the story with that. But it's really a good movie. I really did enjoy it. And of course, he finds this Pikachu, and Pikachu doesn't remember anything. He's lost his memory. But he knows there is something big happening. He believes that his master, and of course Dan's dad, is alive. Well, Dan's dad is alive, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, then of course the movie happens, and the story, they fall into a little bit of adventure. It's a fun ride. It has a lot of callbacks to the original Pokemon movie. It has a lot of callbacks to, of course, the Pokemon anime, and a lot of callbacks to the Pokemon. I mean, You had my favorite Pokemon is actually Ivysaur, but you had Bulbasaur in there. I was happy to see Bulbasaur. Of course, you had Pikachu. You had Charizard. You had had that pink ball of fluff. I can't remember the pink ball of fluff name anymore. You have Lickington. Oh my god! I was laughing that entire Lickington moment in the movie. That entire Lickington scene on the bus. Thank you for not... I honestly saw that in the trailer and I laughed. I was kinda hoping that wasn't going to be a lot in the movie. Thank you for not putting that a lot in the movie, but my god, that scene with Lickington was hilarious. That bus scene with Lickington was hilarious. And then the entire scene with Mr. Mime. So Mr. Mime is my least favorite Pokemon of all time. I just hate Mr. Mime. But everything they were able to do with Mr. Mime, and giving Mr. Mime kind of that bad guy kind of character, it just kind of made me laugh. This movie actually made me laugh, and if a movie can actually make me laugh, then it's a really good movie. With that said, this movie is kind of a comedy, but it actually has some really nice, really deep, serious moments. There's this certain part where Dan is dealing not only with the death of his dad, but dealing with his relationship as well. He never really had a relationship because his dad became a detective, and he couldn't really hang out with his dad. To the point where he just could never forgive his dad for kind of leaving them behind, and he never went with his dad. He never went with his dad to become a detective himself. So he's dealing with all of that. It's got a really nice emotional feel to it. Now, the bad guy. I cannot be the only one who instantly knew that was the villain. I mean, the way they were building him up to be, oh, the good guy who made this perfect city for Pokemon and people to be together. Oh, he's such a good guy because he loves all Pokemon and how he wants Pokemon and people to live in harmony forever. I mean, they're just feeding this, and I knew right away that this guy was obviously the villain. Now, he comes out and says, oh no, it's my son, and I figured, you know what, maybe his son is in cahoots with him, or maybe he's in cahoots with his son, or something like that. They didn't go that route. Actually, turns out while the son isn't that biggest fan of Pokemon, he actually is a decent guy. But him, I mean, my god, that was obvious right there that he was going to be the villain. It's just really obvious. Now, Mewtwo. Mewtwo shows up right in the beginning of the movie, and let me tell you, Mewtwo is awesome. I love the fact that they brought Mewtwo back as well. Mewtwo, one of the original, oldest movies in all of Pokemon. It was the first Pokemon movie, Mewtwo. And then you had Mewtwo's Revenge. And Mewtwo was just such an amazing, awesome Pokemon. And it was just kind of like forgotten for so long. I've been wanting to see Mewtwo back in action for a long time. Of course, I never thought they would do a three-dimensional Mewtwo. And speaking of that, with a lot of the Pokemon, I had to get used to seeing them in 3D. I mean, I know what they look like. I have been a Pokemon fan. I know what they look like. So every time they say something like Mewtwo or Pikachu or Charizard, I picture in my mind them from the anime, the 2D version, and I see them in 3D. And I'm sure if I watched it like 2 or 3 times, it wouldn't be as jarring to me, but just for some reason, I couldn't get used to it. But that's my own fault. That's not their fault. That's my own fault. The animation on these Pokemon is actually really, really fascinating, entertaining to watch, actually. It's just a little bit jarring because I know what these Pokemon look like in the anime, so, and especially when you put them right next to, actual human beings, like, Pikachu kind of sits on Dan's shoulder a lot. So it's just a little jarring, just a little jarring. Then again, that is my own problem. However, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a fantastic movie. You want me to talk about the reporter? The most interesting thing about the reporter is the fact that she had a Psyduck. And you know what? Psyduck might not be my favorite Pokemon ever. Definitely not even in my top 10. But I really enjoyed Psyduck in the anime, you know, Misty's old Psyduck. So I really enjoyed Psyduck in this movie as well. That was great to see. But as for and I don't even remember the reporter's name. She's that basic side character, and support character. We don't even get to learn much of her. She's not really much of a character at all. She's not really much of anything in the movie. And that's all I'll really have to say about it. Now, I really want to end this on a good note. And all I'll say is Mewtwo was absolutely awesome. The villain, yes, was predictable, but I did see the body switch around that Mew could do with humans being possible, and that was really interesting. And then the mind control, not mind control, but mind swap of human and Pokemon was something completely different. And that brings me to the final scene. And I'm going to spoil, this is the biggest part of the movie. If you do not want to know this, please click off. I'm going to say it right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The fact is, Pikachu is Dan's dad. Mewtwo actually merged Dan's dying body with his Pokemon Pikachu because his original Pikachu asked for that. And that's why Dan can understand them, because it's his dad. That was a twist that I did not see coming at all, and I actually really liked the fact that they did that. I don't know if that was part of the original Detective Pikachu game or what, but that I did not see at all. I really enjoyed that part about it. And I kind of thought that they were going to keep Pikachu as Dan's dad, but Mewtwo actually does switch him back. I kind of feel like they should have kept him in Pikachu's body for the next movie, which, by the way, this movie is going to have a Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2, and I'm definitely going to have to go see that now. I hope it's not just a random cash grab, as I thought this movie was going to be, but I actually thought it was a really good movie. So what would my rankings be? I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Why don't I give it 5 stars? The only reason why is because it's not that crazy of a story. Then again, you know, you could make the argument that it's not supposed to be. This is supposed to be for kids. You can't make a complicated story for 7 and 10-year-olds, you know? But I really did enjoy that movie, and it definitely brought me back to my childhood, definitely brought my cousins back to their childhood, and it's all a good movie. Thank you guys for watching, and I am out. Bye.